Welcome to live chat. Remember things. 3 people there. Hey everybody. If let me see if it. That light's a bit bright, isn't it? Is it too bright? I don't know. Let me see what this does. Crush. No. Oh, I don't know what that is. No. What is all this? I apologise now. There we go. Hey Demon Rider. How's it going? So, welcome to my 3,000 subscriber stream. Bubbles, yeah, honestly, it makes me laugh. I always forget there's a bit of a delay with the messages. Let's get rid of that. Get there. There we go. Nice bubbles. Thanks, Bandit. Cookie. So, 3,000 subscribers. Is that the right way round? Or is it back to front? Because I'm using the front screen. It's probably back to front. Yeah, thank you ever so much. Yeah, it's really cool. I was looking through some of the stats of the channel, like how many views and how many people watch more than one video and stuff like that. And like, I know some of my videos are quite long. Some of them are, I think one of them is like 45 minutes long. So the amount of hours of watch time, it's like 6,000 hours of people have spent sat there watching my videos. Stare at the camera in, not the screen. Yeah, 6,000 hours, you know, and there's like 100,000 views or so, 135,000 views across the channel. It blows my mind that, you know, people sit there for that long. Awesome. Cheers, Adam. Yeah, fingers crossed for your internet. Yeah, it just blows my mind that, you know, you guys sit there and watch me drone on and do my videos and stuff like that. Yeah, I just like to say thank you. I really appreciate it. And it really does blow my mind. I love your comments as well. I will admit I'm not always the quickest at responding to them, but I always get round to answering all your comments and stuff like that. And you know, some of the comments I've been getting from all around the world. Someone from Thailand the other day saying hello, and you know he loves watching my videos. There's a few guys from North America. There's plenty of English guys as well, and there's even some people from Japan. So yeah, pretty cool really that, you know, it's got such a large reach. But then, you know, it's 2020. It's amazing how small the world feels now. You know, you can watch people's videos from anywhere in the world. And yeah, so thank you guys. Obviously, you know, it really does inspire me to make more videos with all the comments, and you know, and it's great to see it inspires you as well. There was a guy commented the other day. I'm really sorry that I forgot your username, but you know, you bought a Bandit the other day because you'd been watching my videos and it inspired you to go out and buy a project and do it up yourself. So that's like, it just blows my mind that someone would go out and spend a load of money to buy a bike just because they've been watching me tinkering with them in my garage. So yeah, it's amazing really. And when I first started doing this channel, because if you've been tuning in for a while, which most of you guys have, I originally did like a series of videos for the, what was it, Classic Motorcycle Mechanics magazine Facebook page. It was just a new idea. It's not something they'd done before, and we thought we'd give it a try, see what they think. But the one series was enough for them, which is fine. It was cool. It was a good experience for me, and I actually watched a few of the videos back the other day, and you know, and someone actually commented as well. It's good to see the progression from your early videos to the ones you do now, and you know, I love making videos. I made videos when I was a kid. You know, I had a tiny little video camera and stuff. You know, I actually had a tape in it. I am old enough to have a tape in my old video camera, but yeah, it's just amazing that it inspires. I keep getting lost, but it, you know, inspiring people to do it. That was it. So yeah, did it on the Motorcycle Mechanics page. Did one series for them, and then met Ian from, he's called Ian, I'm called Ian, gets confusing, from classicmotorbikes.net website, and they had a YouTube channel, but they hadn't posted anything. And they'd seen my videos and they loved them and said, you know, why don't you stick them on our YouTube channel? And the rest is history, as they say. So there's Ian and Scotty. I wouldn't say they're in the background because obviously there's the website, which is like a massive part of classicmotorbikes.net. Obviously it's a web address as well, you know. And then yeah, we've sort of decided to make the YouTube channel and grow it and see where it goes, and you know, see what people want to see and that sort of thing. You know, it's just great, really. So the support from Scotty and Ian's incredible. Really do help me along, and yeah, they're great friends as well. Really, I've known Scotty for years. I've known Ian for a few years now. Blimey, yeah, it's probably 2 years, at least 2 years. Yeah, it's just awesome. You know, the support they give, and they watch the videos every week, and as well, you know, they love watching them. You know, it's everyone's that does everything with a website. It's what they enjoy. Everyone loves bikes, whether it's watching the videos or reading about them on the website or anything at all like that. So yeah, it's just awesome. So thank you to them. Thank you to you guys, and yeah, thank you for all the comments. Really, really does mean a lot. So yeah, 3,000. Or I'm sure it is. Just before I went live, I looked and it had gone back down to 2,999. I was like, no! But so close. The last few days, you know, I've just been watching. Oh, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. And I mean, I wouldn't say I worry about the numbers really. You know, I'd probably, if no one watched these videos, I'd probably still make them. To be fair, I enjoy the videos. I enjoy making it. Editing, don't enjoy that so much. But you know, it's good to think about the video and chop it up and, you know, try and make a video that makes some sense and looks okay and, you know, stuff like that. So I'm not by no means an expert at it. I sort of started taking photos and videos seriously a few years, probably 4 or 5 years ago. After I broke my leg playing ice hockey, I thought, I need a new hobby. So I got myself a camera again and yeah, it's gone from there and here we are. So yeah, it's pretty cool really. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Right, so let me just bear with me because I'm going to look like I'm staring across. Let me have a look at some of your comments if I can, because I see them flash up. Here we go. It's a nightmare on my phone. Right, so hello everybody. The archery channel. Hello. Cookie, Bandit, nice bubbles. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Congratulations, BB Junkie. Your first series of Bandit videos inspired me to get my SV650 back on the roads. Great to hear. It's, you know, I love working on bikes. I've been working on them since I was like 16 when I got a moped. And yeah, and Bandits and Suzukis are pretty easy to work on, and that's what I love about them, really. You don't need a massive toolkit. As you probably see with my videos, like I don't have any super special tools, maybe my brake piston tool, an impact gun. Like, that's about it, really. It's amazing how easy it is to do most jobs on Bandits and Suzukis, really. I love them for that. So, Farrar Murray, great channel, watching in Ireland. Thank you very much. Yeah, and again, you know, just people around the world, it's amazing how small, you know, YouTube and the internet's made the world and how you can see stuff all over the place. So, Paul Mundy, hey Paul, thank you very much. Croatia, hello Croatia. Hey Paul, Stevens, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you guys. Haha, ice hockey player. Yeah, so yeah, I don't really follow the Elite League. I was always sort of follow the EPL or the National League or whatever it's called now. And I actually, where was it? It would have been 2013-14 season. I actually played NIHL 2 South, only for half a season. I managed to get in. I only played rec hockey as an adult. This probably won't mean anything to you bike guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, I actually played half a season. Had my last game on the Saturday. Tuesday, broke my leg. Like after the season had finished, probably should have had a bit of time off. Broke my leg, and yeah, I've gone back to hockey. I started playing last year. because I did smash it quite bad and stuff, and I was a bit nervous on the ice. But yeah, love hockey anyway. Motorcycles. Right. So what I'd say is the comments are delayed a little bit. So if you guys have got any questions, no, I was going to write this down. I should have been more prepared. Yeah, so I was going to ask you guys some questions, and then if you guys can ask me some questions, and I'll update you on stuff. So if I asked you a couple of questions, and then if you could let me know in the comments, it'd be much appreciated. And then once you've made a comment, or if you feel like it or not, but if you answer a question, and then and if you ask me a question back, I'll try my best to answer it. And then we'll talk about some projects and bits and bobs like that. So, yeah, my main sort of questions, a bit open ended really, was what do you like about the videos? What don't you like about them? Is there anything you'd like to see differently? Would you like to see more of something, less of something? Can be anything at all. Bit of constructive criticism, really. Obviously, you're the people that watch them. It'd be great to hear from you guys. What you think? Be completely honest. Any genuine constructive criticism's always welcomed. But yeah, if there's more of something you want to see or less of something you want to see, I'd appreciate your thoughts on it all. That was kind of my main question, really. And I know my content's very focused around bandits because I'm really into bandits and stuff, but I don't want to pigeonhole myself on bandits if I can. That's why I've got like the Bussa project and trying to cover some two strokes and bits and bobs like that. So yeah, is there anything you want to see more of or less of, or anything at all? Anything about the videos or the content? Is there particular content you want to see, like event stuff or racing stuff? I'm not sure what racing stuff I could cover, but is there anything out there that you want to see me do or try and do or make videos about? Let me know and I'll try my best. So right, so updates you might see in the background. That is Scotty's Hayabusa. He bought that just as like a run around, really, just for something to poodle about on. And yeah, I'm doing it up. So it needs brakes. The brakes were horrible on it. They were genuine Suzuki discs, but they'd been on for a while and they were pretty worn and just horrible, really. So I said to him, "You want to do those?" The wheels were really scabby in it. Most of you guys are obviously Suzuki owners. If you don't look after a bike and use it through the rough weather, the wheels can get a bit scabby, which they certainly were in this Bussa. So we're powder coating those. Very bright colour. Scotty loves bright wheels. Yeah, it's like an 80s thing, really. But yeah, we're doing that. I've got a fork seal to do on it. We're taking the 6 pots off and we're putting 4 pots on. The 6 pot, 4 pot debate is quite a big one. Lots of people have got their own ideas and thoughts on it. And someone actually asked me about the differences and stuff the other day. So what I'm thinking about doing is doing a video on 6 pots versus 6 pots versus 4 pots. My opinion on it, my take on it. I've worked in the bike trade, so I've seen the kind of fors and against, and other people's for and against and stuff. So I might be able to just do a bit of a talking head video with maybe some cutaway shots of the different brakes and what I'm talking about, if that makes sense. If that'd interest you, because like I say, it's quite a what do you call it? Yeah, it's quite a debated subject. Everyone's got their own opinion on it and stuff. So yeah, it's quite an interesting one, really. But yeah, so it also had a Chinese body kit on. We're getting shot of that because we've actually got the standard original body kit with it. It's got a couple of scuffs, but it's not the end of the world. And like I say, Scotty's going to use it as his daily commuter over winter and stuff. So just make the wheels nice so they're clean and not going to corrode. The scuffy bodywork you can live with. And yeah, so I've just got the wheels off at the powder coaters. As you can see, there's no wheels in it at the moment. Got it on the ABBA stand, just so I can take the wheels out and I can still move it around the garage. That does make my life a lot easier with stuff like that. So yeah, that's the sort of main project at the moment, along with a turbo bike. I can't believe the sort of response that the turbo bike's had. I really love it. It's taken a bit longer than I thought it would, or maybe not thought it would, but hoped it would, because it's a completely new learning experience for me. Like when I worked on the Bandits and I've done the Bandit projects, it is something I've done in the past. I've stripped them down completely into a million pieces, so it's like a jigsaw puzzle on the floor, and put them back together again. And I've done engines, and I, I wouldn't like to. I don't want to sound too big-headed, but I know Bandits quite well. There's not too many issues, or there's not much about them that I don't know or can't do, if that makes sense. And when I'm doing a video, if I know what I'm doing, like stripping a Bandit down, I find it a lot easier to sort of bring you guys along with a ride with a video, because I know what I'm undoing next, and I can explain why I'm undoing it, or that sort of thing. Whereas, like with a turbo thing, I don't really know. I've done a lot of research, but as I'm doing things, it's like the first time I've done it, so I'm kind of struggling a little bit to put into words, um, get across what I'm doing, because if I'm not really sure, I find it hard to explain because I'm not sure what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's kind of my thing behind why it's taking a bit longer. But I'm loving doing the turbo project, learning to weld. I've always wanted to learn to TIG weld, and it's the perfect opportunity really. Learn to TIG weld, learn to do a turbo kit, and go from there. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, we've got Scotty's bike, we've got the turbo bike, and we're gonna have Ian, who runs the website. He's got a BMW R9T Racer, and it's a 719 option or edition or something like that. I don't really do modern BMWs, but it looks really cool. And he does like to modify stuff and make things a bit different. And the Racer's actually got a right way up front end, like a standard Bandit front end, sort of same style. But he wants to put an upside down front end in. And as they're quite expensive-ish and modern bikes, people haven't really started modifying them a lot. But he wants an upside down front end. So I thought, oh, S1000RR. But I think they're a bit shorter and stuff like this. But some of the R90s do have upside down front ends. So he's managed to find a set of forks. He's managed to buy yokes and bits and bobs like that. So we're actually going to do a front end swap from right way up to upside down. Everything should fit because it is like the BMW forks, and the yokes are aftermarket, but they're designed for an R90 upside down front end and stuff like that. So that should work. It'd be interesting to do. It's something different, and yeah, hopefully got you guys like that. I know it's not a Bandit and stuff like that, but it's modifying and working on bikes. So I'm going to get the adapters. I keep meaning to get a technician's kit for it, so I've got all the adapters, but I've got the ones I need. But yeah, I'm going to get some adapters for the ABBA stand to put the BMW on, just to make life easier putting the front end in and out, and get that done. That should be a fairly short video, maybe, or fairly short project, maybe 2 videos or so. I'd imagine it won't be, a massive drawn out project. And once the BMW's done, Scotty's got another bike. He's recently got a GSX 1100 EFE, or an EF. Big sort of 80s muscle bike, and it's rather nice actually. It's got nice exhaust on it. It's got Bandit 1200 wheels. It's got Bandit 1200 swing arm, and it's got a GSXR 1100 upside down front end, the same that's in my Bandit actually. But Scotty likes things to look a bit more retro and a bit how they did in the 80s, so he actually wants to take the upside down front end out of the EFE and put a right way up front end in, something like a Bandit 12. They fit in and look right and work and stuff with it. So yeah, that's going to have a few bits and bobs to do. Should be quite a good project really. He has got a crazy idea. Now the EFE is monoshocked. So it's, you know, similar sort of suspension style to a Bandit. But everyone seems to be into twin shocks these days. And Scotty's like, could we twin shock it? Now, I think we probably could. We'd probably have to look into it a bit and how to go about it and would it actually work. But yeah, so that's going to be another project. That'll probably be in the new year. The BMW might as well. I might get that done over Christmas time, as long as the bus is done, because I've got to get the bus done, get it out of here. Then we can get the BMW in. Then we can get Scotty's other Suzuki back in, and we'll be able to do that as well. So yeah, there's one more project. It's a Bandit project, and it's a little bit different. I'm not going to tell you too much about it because I want to plan it out a bit, and get it right and sort of get the ideas set out and sort of stuff. But it'll be an interactive project. That's my plan for it. So it'll be all about you guys. You know, I do love your support. It will be what you guys think, and I'll be asking your opinion. Should I do this? Should I do this? You know, it'll be a, do you want to choose A or B, or is there a C option? You know, it'll be that sort of thing, which I think could be quite interesting, quite good. Obviously, you'll have to kind of watch along live, if that makes sense, to make a choice, because obviously if you watched it in a year's time, it won't make any sense because the project will be finished. So it'll be a good one to you know, watch along with live as I do it. So yeah, should be quite interesting. So they're the main sort of projects at the moment. And sort of relating to my question that I asked you earlier, you know, about sort of feedback about the videos or if there's anything you want to see, I've come up with an idea to do some motorcycle stories. Now, you know, we all ride motorcycles. Most of us have been around bikes a fair amount of time. We've all got some great stories. Mine always seem to revolve around the police being present. Nothing bad. Nothing bad. I've got no points on my license. Never been arrested. But the police always seem to be involved. So, you know, I've got some great stories from when I was a bit younger, and I had my first Bandit 12 and, you know, my 600 and my mopeds as well. So I thought about maybe, you know, sitting down and telling you guys some of my stories, really. And the idea as well is to, you know, maybe I'll tell a few stories, and then if there's anyone else out there that's got any cool stories that don't mind sitting down in front of a camera and telling them, that won't get anyone in trouble, and filming them and sharing them with the world as well. You know, everyone loves a story. You know, you go to a rally or go down the bike meet, everyone's always got a story, and I thought maybe we could, you know, film them, get them on the internet, and then, you know, there's somewhere else to hear a story, you know, from around the world, or, you know, anything at all, because obviously we can't always go and see people at the minute and socialise much. I thought maybe it's a good idea that we could, you know, still hear bike stories even though we aren't necessarily going to a bike night or a rally or anything at all like that. So yeah, right, so I think that's enough of me waffling on. I've seen the old comments flying up, so let me try and get them to come back up. You've got to lightly touch it. Right, here we go. Loads of comments. Wow, thank you guys. This is incredible. Let me, where did I get to? Well done on the 3000. Great shit, here we go. Hockey player 2. Sorry, cat on the keyboard. What? What happened there? I don't know what's going on. Right, sorry, cat on the keyboard. I enjoy the videos. Laughing dog. Hey, laughing dog. Demon Rider. The laughing dog. Any tools you would recommend as a must for fixing bandits? I'm trying to build up a toolbox myself. So, yeah, with tools, a basic socket set, 3/8 does the job most of the time. There's a couple of 1/2 inch ones you want for like the spindles, rear wheel spindle, front wheel spindle, swing arm pivot, and a couple of the bigger bolts on the frame. 1/2 inch is better, but you'd probably get away with 3/8 if you really wanted to. But yeah, 3/8, 1/2 inch socket set, like metric, you know, 8mm to, well, they go up to 19 or 21 normally. A good set of spanners. I like to have a set of like regular ring-ended spanners, as someone else mentioned in a comment. There's a big Halford set on the wall, and ratchet spanners as well. They're good to, you know, get things undone where you can't necessarily get a ratchet in. Screwdrivers. Now, this is a big thing debated in some classic scenes. Is there's a type. There's loads of. Sorry about the wind. There's loads of different types of screwdrivers. So, you know, there's Phillips and there's Posse and stuff like that. And there's another one that not a lot of people have heard of, is JIS, which is Japanese Industrial Standard, I think it stands for. And that's what most Japanese motorbikes, crossheads or Phillips heads are. They're not Posses, they're not Phillips. So the reason you see a lot of rounded out Phillips heads on bikes is because you're not technically using the right screwdriver. So you can buy them off of eBay fairly cheap. I really need to actually go out and buy myself a set, which is really bad that I've been working on bikes for 15 years and I don't have a set. I mean, I only found out about them probably about 4 years ago, and I should have probably bought a set by now, which I keep meaning to go to like Newark Auto Jumble and seeing if I can pick up a set, but I never seem to see any there. But yeah, basic set of sockets, some screwdrivers, longer ones, shorter ones. What else tool-wise for a Bandit? That's about it really. There's not that much you need for a Bandit. I think if I had to build a toolkit to strip a Bandit completely apart, bar the engine, you know, just the main parts of it, to if I went touring, I could probably get it in a handful like that. Like, there's really not a lot of stuff you need for a Bandit. You know, I know I've got a pretty big tool chest there, but most of the stuff that's in it I don't use 90% of the time, 99% of the time. It's just like, ooh, fancy tool. You know, I think most of us are a little bit like magpies. You see something shiny and you think, oh, get that, and you never use it, do you? So, like I say, I've got, let me turn around just quick, my little rolly around toolbox. I think my tools are back in it. Like, top shelf there, sockets, spanners, ratchet, flathead screwdriver. I could pretty well take a Bandit apart with that lot. You know, you really don't need much. So, and again, that's why I like Bandits. You know, they're quite a reasonably priced bike. I don't think the parts are expensive from Suzuki. Well, some bits are, but they're not too bad. And they're pretty cheap and easy to work on. You don't need loads of fancy spanners. The only thing I probably would say is if you're rebuilding forks, fork seal tools are almost a must. When I was like 16, I got taught how to fit a brand new fork seal with a punch, and I'd probably fitted about 10 of them and none of them ever leaked. It's not the right tool for the job, but it can be done. But yeah, a fork seal tool, again, you know, somewhere like eBay, Newark Auto Jumble, stuff like that, you know, you can pick them up fairly cheap and stuff. So, but with forks, it's not just the being able to take it apart and put it back together. You know, it's having the right amount of oil and air gap and stuff like that. You know, they're not like a dark art as such, but like, you need to know what you're doing and research it and look it up and be exact stuff. Hey Jack, how's it going? Right, so next question. Let me see. Hopefully, if I'm waffling on too much, just tell me, because keep what you're doing. Thank you very much. Any tools? Here we go. Bandit Series were great when you. I've lost half the comment off the end there. What is that exhaust? I'm getting private messages about my stream. I'm not sure, Scotty. Yeah, but he's sending them me on Facebook. Anyway, sorry about coughing. Bandit Series was great with a frame and a rear wheel. Thank you very much. I've got something planned that's similar to that in the future, which will be different than I think I've ever seen done in a video. I could be wrong, but it should be good. It is Bandit based as well, which I know you all love. Turbo Bandit project is what I'm currently interested in. Thanks, Adam. Yeah, I love the Turbo Bandit project as well. Like I was explaining, it's a bit sort of a learning curve for me, so I might not be quite getting it over in video as much as I like, but I've got more plans for that once it's turboed anyway. But yeah, clutch video is a good one for me, as I got mine doing with that one. Thank you very much. Hang on, let me just see what Scotty said. Yeah, right, I got you. Clutch video was good for me. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, clutches, they're not the hardest thing in the world to do. Measuring them, that, you know, the stack height and stuff like that, and making sure it goes back together in the right order. And, you know, a lot of people have clutch problems, but the problem isn't the clutch necessarily. Sometimes it's the push rod and the slave cylinder end cause as many problems as the clutch does. But yeah, clutches aren't too bad. You just got, if you put in brand new clutch fiber clutch plates in, make sure you soak them in oil overnight. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. BB Junkie restoration videos are good. Stripping down and rebuilding, can't get enough of those. A how-to video on fork rebuilds. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about doing something along them lines with the Bussa one. I'm going to take that apart and sort of show you the process and bits and bobs with that. It's been a little while since I've done one. But yeah, hopefully that'll sort of show you how it's done and the things you go through and stuff. Love the detail, mate. Just the right pace. Too many other videos are edited, removing big chunks. I'm an amateur and like your calm approach. Thank you very much. Yeah, I tend to sort of, you know, I don't rush anything really. I suppose, but if anyone knows me, I don't rush a lot. So yeah, no, that's good. Good to know. Yeah, I try not to remove. I try to film as much as possible, but like every now and again, you know, there'll be a bit where I'm taking a loader bolt, or you know, it's something that's not, I wouldn't think's needs to be seen, but maybe it does. You know, I'd try and include as much as I can in the video. So yeah, do you have a job outside of YouTube, or is this your main job? Yes, I do have a job. I don't really talk about it on the internet. I know it sounds strange, but yeah, it's involved around bikes and stuff like that. So, but yeah, YouTube isn't really a job, I'd say, to be honest with you. You know, since we've like monetized the channel and stuff, it gets a little bit, but it's really not a job. I just enjoy doing it, really. Hopefully, one day, I think, you know, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't love to do this as a job. You know, just spend nearly every day in the garage and probably a good few days on the computer editing. I'd love to do something like that. Like, I'd love to have like a, you know, like a motorbike show, and probably not actually, but you know, something similar where, you know, I can do stuff like that. Does that make sense? I'm probably rambling on it, but yeah, I'd love to do, you know, make videos full time around bike stuff. That'd be, you know, really really cool. 6 pots on a Bussa are complete crap. I've owned 3 Bussas and changed them all. Yeah, I won't discuss any more in our video, but 6 pots aren't necessarily bad, but they do require looking after more, I would say. That's as simple as I could probably say. But yeah, I understand your frustration with them. Are you considering a meet up at some point in time once COVID is done with? Yeah, I was thinking about doing something like that. I'd maybe try and do it in the middle of the country, maybe, or maybe down south, if there's more people down south or up north and stuff. I wanted to try and get out to a lot more events this year. I wanted to ride the Bandit more because I wasn't riding it as much as I used to. So yeah, if we ever can, I'd love to do something like that. Meet some of you guys and see your bikes and stuff like that. It'd be pretty cool. So we are in lockdown again. Yeah, tell me about it. But hopefully it's going to give me plenty of time in the garage. Like I say, I've got Scotty's Bandit here. Hopefully I can get the wheels back from the powder coaters. That's my main concern at the moment, is will the wheels be done in time? So yeah, fingers crossed for that one. I'm a big fan of everything Bandit, always have been. No, I have never owned one. Okay, interesting. What I would like to see at some point is a build for a specific purpose, sort of thing, like race, drag, etc. Yes, so the project that I said, that's probably a long way. You know, it's probably middle of next year, if not towards the end of next year. That seems a long time, but yeah, it can take a while, and it's surprising how long the videos take, and and how quick time passes. But yeah, um, with a Turbo Bandit, I used to do, probably not drag racing, but I used to enter the wheelie competition at Santa Pod. I've always wanted to do the kilometre wheelie as well, where you've got a wheelie over a kilometre and it's the speed you go through at the end of the kilometre. I've always wanted to have a go at that. Never got round to that, but I used to enter the wheelie competition at like Santa Pod and North Weald when I used to drag race there. So I'd love to do that again, or maybe actually have a proper go at drag racing. And I think if anything will be good for that, it's probably the Turbo Bandit. Um, I can take the turbo kit off and do it as a standard bandit, and learn how to do it and do it properly, and progress. And so I'm not trying to drag race a 200 horsepower bike, sort of not for the first time, but it's quite a while and learn and stuff. But yeah, I'd love to do something like that, and I'd love to build like a track bike or a track bandit. I didn't do a lot of track days, but I did do a few when I was a bit younger, and I loved them, and wanted to do more and stuff. But yeah, I'm thinking about maybe building a track bike, and using the turbo bike as a bit of a drag bike slash wheelie bike, because they still do the wheelie competitions. Um, I wasn't quick enough to compete because most of them are riding like supercharged Hayabusas and turbo GSX R1000s and stuff. So I was on a almost standard Bandit 1200 at the time, so I was quite a bit slower than everyone else. But yeah, I'd love to do something like that again, and it sort of was in my plans, maybe not for this year, but for next year. But we'll have to see what the world's doing by that point. But yeah, good idea, and I will do something along those sort of lines soon. So not so keen on the custom bike stuff, but that's just me. Yeah, I mean, I like modifying stuff, but I've never really been into like choppers and cruisers and stuff like that. They're just, I like to be able to ride it well. I know some people will probably say, "Oh yeah, it rides fine," but I used to when I early days of working in a bike shop when I was like 17. We used to get like trikes and customs in and stuff like that, and they don't ride the same as like a good Bandit does. I hate to say, I might upset some people, but some trikes are okay. They're fun for 5 minutes, and they serve a purpose. For people that can't ride bikes for various reasons. But yeah, it's just not quite the same as a bike, is it? So yeah, good to know. Right, I'd watch the 4 pots versus 6 pot brake video. Don't even know the pros and cons. Yeah, I think I'm going to do something like that, Stu. I mean, like I say, I'm not an expert by any means. I'm just, a guy in his shed. I've worked around the bike trade and bikes for over the years, but, it won't be like a scientific video. It'll be my opinion, and I will be very clear about that. But yeah, I think it could be quite interesting. Might start a good debate, and, it'd be good for other people to give me their experiences, or, if they leave a comment with their experience, other people will be able to see other people's experiences, and hopefully we'll learn a bit from that. Hey Philip, hope you're well. Yeah, I'm doing good and loving the videos. Thank you very much, do appreciate it. Hey Trevor, I have a blue W-Reg N600 in bits to do a full refurb. Awesome. Is it the like teal blue, like that sort of, not baby blue, but that teal blue? I love that colour. I did buy a pair of panels for my Bandit with the intention to paint it that colour, but I ended up going satin black because I always seem to paint my bikes black. So if I ever ask what colour shall I paint my bike, any colour apart from black, because that's all I ever seem to paint them. So there we go. Right. Have you ridden his Bussa with the high bars? How did you find the handling? Would love a Bussa, but can't do the head up, arse down position anymore. I haven't yet, Paul. Scotty did say to me if I wanted to have a thrash on it and have a ride around, I could, but I just kind of got it in the garage and got started. Before I did the Bandit videos, my last bike before my Bandit was actually a K1 GSX R1000, and that had flat bars on it. Funnily enough, it actually had Bandit 1200 handlebars with a different top yoke. The handling on that was amazing. It handled like a sports bike, obviously not like a modern one. It's still fairly easy to ride, but you could tell it was a sports bike. But you're comfortable like you are on a Bandit. Like if I love bandits, and I love how they go and stuff, but sometimes you can find yourself you are wound to the throttle stop. Whereas on a K1 Gixxer foul, I hate saying Gixxer, GSXR, with flat bars, you don't find yourself wound to the stop because it's way too fast for that, especially when you sat bolt upright. But yeah, flat barring bikes is the future. Honestly, I know you know bike manufacturers aren't selling sports bikes like they used to. They're selling stuff with flat bars. Suzuki bought the GSXS 1000 out. There's the Tuono and stuff like that. Honestly, flat bars are the way forward. But if you haven't got money for a brand new bike like that, I'd highly recommend getting like a top yoke kit from like ABM or LSL, something like that, one of the German ones, and flat bar and a sports bike, Bussa, anything, flat bar, everything, because it's amazing. Bill, you might see in the background of some of the videos, has got a K5 GSXR 1000, and he didn't even ride it with clip-ons. Bill's got a bit of a bad back, and he can't do that either. But he loves sports bikes. He has always loved sports bikes. Still wants to ride them, but he 10 minutes on a bike with clip-ons and he's done. Whereas K5 with flat bars, what a bike! Honestly, like they should have made a naked one of it because they would have sold 10 times as many as they would have sold anything else. What a bike! I mean, the K5's a great bike anyway, but with flat bars, it's amazing. It handles like a fairly modern sports bike, but you got that comfort of the flat bars, and honestly, it's the way forward. Right, next comment, see if we find it. Trevor, hey Trevor, is them Halford's combination spanner set on the wall behind you a good set? I was in Halford yesterday looking at them, but wasn't sure on them. Yeah, I mean, for me with tools, like tools are tools. I mean, they're pretty good. I've used the big ones, the small ones, and they've been fine. The Halford's Professional, or it used to be called Professional. I don't know what it's called now, but the Halford's tools are actually pretty good. I don't know if they still come with a lifetime warranty, but they used to. I broke a ratchet spanner from Halford's once, and I just walked in and I said, "It's broken." And they're like, "Yeah, no worries, just get another one off the shelf," and left that with them, and there was no quibbles over it. So, yeah, I'd recommend them. I think they're pretty good. That set goes from, I think it's like 6 or 7 mil, or maybe 8 mil, and it goes up to 32. So it's basically got absolutely everything you need. So yeah, I'd definitely recommend them. I think they're pretty good. Correct. JIS screwdrivers are a must. Yeah, they certainly are. I promise you, I am going to get a set. So anyone else, if you're working on Japanese bikes, buy some JIS screwdrivers. You'll have a much better time undoing stuff. So cheap impact driver is helpful. Yes, I've got an air powered one. It's actually, I wouldn't say it's fancy, but it's got quite a high torque setting. Sometimes clutches and back wheels and a couple of bits can be a bit tricky to undo. And the high torque, like the clutch on the Bussa, someone had really peened that nut over, and it really did. You wouldn't have undone it with a breaker bar, I don't think, but with a buzz gun, or ugga dugger as they say, and it comes straight off. I know a lot of people use like battery powered ones these days. I'm a little bit behind the times. I've still got an air powered one. I keep thinking about getting one of these impact ones, but there's so many different ones, and there's cheap ones, expensive ones. I'm not really sure what I would get, and it's not really the top of my priorities. I mean, in the last year, I've probably used that buzz gun like 4 times, so it's not like it gets used a lot. So yeah, but yeah, something like that is good to have, but I wouldn't say it's essential really. Hey, Random Rides, good to see you. I haven't seen you comment for a while, but it's good to see you around. Hope you enjoyed it. Marksman, yo man, thanks for the videos. You're awesome. Keep it up. Thank you, Marksman. I do appreciate it. I appreciate all your comments. Have you ever dropped your knees and wept over a stupid mistake when you're working on a bike? I'm one of the most incompetent blokes I know, but I still love my bikes, and when I get it right, it's the best. It's hard to think back, really. Have I can't really think of anything. I There's one that was pretty bad actually. I remember I was in a bit of a rush, and I was giving the bike a service, giving it an oil change. Took the oil out. Um, I took the oil filter off, put the new oil filter on, and then I think someone distracted me, or the phone rang. Are you coming out for a ride? I was like, yeah, I'll be there in a minute. I'm just doing an oil change. I was like, right, better put the oil back in it. I put the oil in it, and I hadn't put the sump plug back in. So all this lovely brand new fresh oil was just, going in the filler and coming straight out the sump bung or sump plug, um, straight into the moody old oil. And I got about halfway through the bottle, and I'm like, I can hear something. And I looked, I was just like, no. So I stopped pouring it in, put the sump plug in, and luckily I had enough oil to fill it up. But God, what a job that was, yeah. So always pay attention, don't get distracted, is what I would say. And if you need to, make a list and tick them off before you do stuff, definitely. But yeah, when you get it right, it's nice. When they start back up, because I think even the best of us, as they say, I'm by no means the best, but I think we can all doubt ourselves. You're not, oh, is it sure? Is that going to be right? Bill can be like that sometimes. Oh, I'm not sure that'll work. And like with the Bandit gearbox, obviously I knew it was whining, I knew it was making a horrible noise, and I was like, I need to fix it. I need to do something about it. And using all brand new parts was great because I knew they'd be okay. But just putting them together, I'm happy to say there was. I think I've said it in the video. I'm not sure, but there's like circlips and they're sided. And like again, when I'm videoing, sometimes you're thinking about the shot and stuff like this. You're not always concentrating as much as you should be. And I put the circlip on the wrong way. They are single use, and when they say they're single use, they really mean it. You take that off, it's not going to stay back on. It just, yeah. So I had to go and order 2 new circlips, which took a couple of days, and it's just like, oh, circlips. Not the end of the world, but you need to pay attention and stuff like that. But when I put the bike back together, obviously I'd had not the top end apart, but all the bottom end apart, and I took the whole bike apart. And when I started it up, I was like, yes. And one thing for me is getting the selector forks in the right way and stuff, making sure they're in right. And I tested it. I was like, yeah, it's going through the gears. But when it's under load and the engine's running is when it makes the real difference. And like, pulling the clutch in and into first gear for the first time, I was like, yes. And then when I took it up for a spin up the road, and it had 5 gears and it went up and down, and that was pretty cool because I hadn't done anything like that on a Bandit engine for 5 or 6 years. So as much as I'd done it before, it was a while since I'd done it. But I read the manual. I've actually got 2 manuals for a Bandit. I've got a Haynes manual. I know I'm lying. I've got 3. I've got 3 manuals. I've got a Haynes manual. I've got a Climber manual, and I've also got a genuine Suzuki workshop manual for a Bandit as well. And it's handy having all 3 because it's amazing the difference between them. It'll say do it one way, and then you read the next manual, do it this way, and then you read the Suzuki one. It's like, no, you should do it like this. I'm like, probably going to listen to the Suzuki one, but I'm not saying the other ones are bad, but I always go with what Suzuki say because they made the bike. But it's interesting reading the manuals and how they're slightly different, and some are less involved and more involved and stuff like that. But I am rambling. I do apologise. Let me know if I'm just rambling on. God, I've been on 49 minutes. I can't believe you guys are still listening to me after 49 minutes, but it is really cool. Are you going to extend the swing arm? I think some of these messages are getting cut off. Demon Rider. Are you going to extend the swing arm on the Bandit? Yeah, on the turbo one, I do plan on. I'll probably keep it with a standard length swing arm for a while. Just because I'm going to run really low boost. Like I don't want to make loads of power straight away. I want to sort of step it up as I get used to it and stuff like that. But I do quite like wheeling, only on private runways and stuff like that. Yeah, I do love wheeling, so I'll probably keep it at a standard length for a while and just get used to it you know, as a standard wheelbase and suspension with the turbo, and then as I probably do a bit of drag racing with it, I'll probably, you know, extend the swing arm out. Um, Something I did where I think it was when the lockdown was on. It's been like, I don't know if anyone else, but it's been a bit of a blur and like, you know, timescales and stuff. But I downloaded a program called Fusion 360. It's a CAD program, and as a hobbyist, like a home user, they actually allow you to have it for free, which is pretty cool. So I wouldn't say I taught myself CAD, but like I just sort of worked out, you know, tried to work the program out and see if I could make something. And something I made was an adjuster. There's loads of people that make, you know, long chain adjusters for Bandits. There's Dave, Fast by Me Turbos. He's about 20 minutes away from me. He makes some lovely looking ones and stuff like that. But I just always wanted to try and like design my own and stuff. So I have actually done that, and I'm almost happy with them. And being it's 2020, I'm actually going to send a design to someone. They're going to make sure I've done the CAD properly because I'm not 100% sure. They're going to make sure I've done the CAD properly because I'll give them the drawings and measurements I've tried to make it from, which I know the measurements are right, but whether I've translated that onto the computer. And they're actually going to 3D print me a chain adjuster block that's, well, I don't know how the scale will work, but you know, the standard Bandit one's what, that long. This one's going to be, you know, quite a bit longer. They're going to 3D print one, and then I'm going to see if it fits in the swing arm and it lines up right and everything works like that. And then if that works and I'm happy with it, like prototype it, and then I'm actually going to go about getting some machined up properly. So that'll be interesting. I will make some videos about it and take you all along for the journey. But yeah, it's a bit of a way off yet. You know, it's sort of not a pipe dream, but it's something that will happen probably after I've been riding it for a while. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys might find that interesting and stuff. So yeah, Gary James, best cheap tool for track days would be a TL. Yeah, I think so. TLs are fairly cheap still. The S's are anyway. I had a TL1000S, yeah, red one, when I was 19 and on a restricted license. The inlet on a TL is massive. It's like that, and the restrictor it was like this tiny little hole. Like the thing would barely run with them in. But yeah, I had a TL when I was 19. It had Ohlins on it and Maxton and all sort of full Yoshi system. It was really a cool bike. Yeah, they handle pretty cool, but they are a bit of an older bike. And I mean, I've never quite been this big, but being a bigger lad on one, like I found that I just grinding it out all the time. Like the Bandits are the same. If I go around the corner, I'm always grinding pegs out. But the TL was exactly the same, and I was actually starting to wear away the belly pan. But yeah, they are a pretty cheap, reasonable bike still that I think could make a good track toy. But then I think a Bandit 12 would really. You know, they got some good grunt. They pull out of the corners nice. They don't handle too bad. Doesn't take a lot to get a Bandit handling relatively nice. But then saying that, I'm not the fastest guy around track. I only ever ride in novice. I'm not afraid to say it. But yeah, I suppose it's what you enjoy, really, isn't it? Philip Brown, you should get over to Northern Ireland Inn and see the Northwest 200 and visit the Joey Dunlop Gardens. Yes, I definitely should. A friend of mine, he's just known as Cake. I don't know, he might be watching. Sometimes he does. He loves his racing. He loves going to the Isle of Man and stuff, and he's always wanted to do something like that. So, yeah, in the future, it's definitely a plan. He's bought a big BMW GS thing after being a tear around racer sort of guy for years, and he loves doing loads of mileage now. So I think I'm going to get some luggage for the Bandit and hopefully make a trip like that. So yeah, definitely in the future, it's sort of on my list of many things to do. So rode a Bandit and then bought a SV. My next bike would be a Bandit 1200, much more comfortable for big miles. Yeah, definitely. I mean, so I rode like tuned up mopeds and stuff around until I was 19. I was like, oh, I don't need a bike license and all this stuff. Working at a bike shop, I was like, I love my scooters and they're fast enough for me and stuff. And then The boss wanted me to become an MOT tester, but to do that, you have to have a full motorbike license. So he persuaded me to go out and do my bike test. And before I'd passed, I'd actually bought myself a Bandit 600. Um, what year would this be? So this would have been probably 2006. I bought a Bandit 600 and I paid 450 quid for it. And it had like a standard paint job on it, but it's like someone had put extra metal flake over them. If you've seen the standard black paintwork for a Suzuki Bandit, it's got like a slight blue fleck to it. Well, this is like someone had just like thrown glitter at it almost. And the front mudguard, I did have it around it somewhere. The front mudguard had some airbrushing on of an Iron Maiden front cover. I'll have to dig it out. I did have it around it somewhere. I found it the other day on the front mudguard. It had GSXR clocks on it. Don't know why. And when you turn the ignition on, the high beam light and the oil light come on. I was like, okay. And then when you put it into gear, the oil light went off. And then when you started the bike up, the high beam light went out. Some like the plugs fitted, but the pins were all in the wrong place. And like after work, me and Bill sat there with a multimeter and worked it out and repinned it and stuff like that. But yeah, that was my first bike. But I love my Bandit 600. I do get a bit distracted and go off on tangents with stories. I do apologise. Yes, I bought Bandit 600. I was riding that around. Again, I was restricted, but I was like, riding that around. I was like, oh, I'm bored of this now. I want something else. And my boss was selling this TL1000S. It was really, really I wish I could do like, put photos in the live stream or something somehow. But I had this TL1000S. It was absolutely amazing. It was well known. Like, everyone knew it. It's a great bike, and it was quick. It made 136 horsepower at the back wheel for a TL1000S, which is good power for one of them. Had like a pre-recall CDI on it and stuff. There's so much cool stuff with it. But I bought that, and I'd had a couple of goes on it. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I need to own this. And I rode it around, but I probably rode that around for 6 months. Bearing in mind, I'd only passed my test 6 months. I rode it around for 6 months, and I think I discovered I'm not really a V-twin person. I'm more of an inline four kind of guy. So not long after, probably 6 months after having the TL, bearing in mind I didn't have a car license, I was riding this TL1000 every day with Metzeler Ren Sports. And they're them like cut slick looking things on like, cold December mornings when it's frosty. It used to get a bit squirrely, really. They weren't the right tyres for it. But and then I ended up buying a Bandit 12. I was on holiday from working in a bike shop, and one of the other lads was like, mate, we just had a Bandit 12 come in. He's like, it's a bit it's good price and stuff, and I paid 700 quid for it, I think. It's Bandit 12, and it had some problems. It come in and found an MOT, actually. And the headstock bearings, like, I don't know if you ever felt a bit of play in headstock bearings, but this like a tiny amount of movement normally. This thing, the stem, you could touch the front and the back of the headstock with it. It was like, It was bad. Somehow the torque arm had come off the bike. Don't know how or why. And then when the guide used the rear brake, because the calipers underslung, but the torque arm was missing. When he'd used the rear brake, it had gone ding and hit the top of the swinging arm and like stretched the brake cable out and stuff. It's just like, yeah. And the other thing is the back wheel was in at a funny angle like that. So like the chain was like almost dragging on the floor, and the right hand side of the tyre was almost touching the swing arm. So it needed some work, and the boss is like, he took it in as a Part X, and I was on holiday, so I popped down there just to have a look. And he went, I don't know if I want to fix it. It needs loads of work doing to it. I don't know if I can be bothered to fix it up and put it in the shop. And it was high mileage as well. I'd done like 50,000 miles, and this was 10 years ago. So it was a high mileage Bandit. And he's like, I don't know if I can be bothered to fix it up. I was like, well, I'll have it. I said, I'll buy it off you. If it's a Part X, I'll have it. And I said, it'd be a bit of a project for me. He's like, what do you want that for? I said, just, something, bit of a project, something to do. He's like, yeah, all right. And I was on holiday, so I ended up buying a bike from work. And that was my first Bandit 12 that I wheelied and took to Santa Pod and stuff like that. But the head race bearings just needed adjusting. I thought about putting new ones in, but they didn't look worn. Considering the amount of play in them, they didn't look worn. I thought, I'll just try them. Did them all up. And Head race bearings were fine. I adjusted the chain because the chain looked fairly new. It was just dragging on the floor. I adjusted it, got it squared up, and it was fine. And I made my own torque arm for the rear brake and put a new braided line on. And I put it back through its MOT before I come back off a holiday, which was like, probably 5 days later. And I had my first Bandit 12. And yeah, as like a 19, probably 20 by that stage year old lad, I was sort of thrashing it around and wheeling it on racetracks and Santa Pod, of course. Just having fun on it really. So I didn't know if I was going to say this in the video. I've actually seen my old Bandit 12 for sale today on Facebook. I know a few of you guys are on Facebook. Um, yeah, it's actually white now, and it's turboed, which is what I always. Even back then, I was like, oh, I'd love a turbo bike. Like people have, wouldn't say they just started turboing them, but they're starting to become a bit more popular around probably in 2009, 2010. I was like, oh, I'd love a turbo bike, but like, at the time they were really expensive and I couldn't afford one. I was like, oh, I'd love to turbo this, and never did. And then, literally, this evening I was on Facebook. I was like, hang on, that's my whole reg number, and yeah, because I stripped the bike apart because I was going to big bore it. I had a 1216 kit for the engine because I'd sort of tired it out a bit because I did thrash it a lot. I had a big bore kit for it, and in the end, I never put it back together. I'd sort of fallen out of love with it a bit, and I ended up just selling all the parts off. I tried selling them together, but no one wanted them. And then I sold a few parts to one guy, and then he said, "Oh, you got any other bits?" I was like, "Yeah, I got all of this stuff." Sold all that to. I ended up selling him most of the bike, and I thought, the frame will just get chopped up or something. They won't, because even now people don't really want Bandit 12 frames, do they? Really? I thought I'll just get chopped up and thrown in the skip. And I did like a history check on it randomly a few years ago. I was like, I wonder if anyone ever put it back on the road, and it was taxed and MOT'd. I was like, wow, someone's still using it. And then, yeah, like I say today, I see it for sale on Facebook, and it's got a turbo on it, which is it's pretty cool, really. So, oh god, I've been rambling on for an hour. I do apologise, guys, that you still rambling on. So yeah, basically, a bit of a tangent there. I'm not really a V twin guy. I'm definitely an inline four guy. Definitely a Bandit 12 Mark One guy. I know there's some Mark Two owners out there, but yeah, I'm definitely into my Mark One 1200. So a Bandit 6 isn't the teal blue colour. It's a deep pearl blue colour code, YBA. Such a nice shade of blue. I think I know the one you mean. I quite like that colour blue as well. I love most of the colours of Bandits, apart from I hate green. I don't know why. I know it's British racing green and stuff, but I'm not a fan of it. And as you know from watching the videos, mine used to be green. And if you watch the first video where I explain about trying to buy a bike, I had a few sort of not qualificate, like a few things that I wanted from the bike. So one of them was it could be any colour as long as it wasn't green. It wasn't going to be high mileage, and I had like a maximum budget. And I bought a green one. It was over the mileage I wanted, and I paid too much money for it. But yeah, it's all part of the story and all part of the fun in it. But yeah, I do like the blues and stuff. I like the teal. I really do like that. I think it's quite bright and nice looking. But the darker blues are really nice as well. Guy I know had a darkish blue Bandit 1200 that was pretty tricked out. So there we go. What had been done with the Bandit that pulled 120 horsepower except for the can? So yeah, I've had a couple of people ask me this. Now I'll say with dynos is they all read different, a bit like speedos. They all read differently. You know, some read more than others. Some read a bit more to make people feel better, and all this sort of stuff. But my Bandit, I call it my Bandit because the turbo bike Bandit, I can't call it my Bandit because I've got two Bandits that get confusing. So my Bandit, the black one that, Bandit o'clock Bandit, I suppose I should call it. That is completely stock. It even had a stock air filter in it, stock airbox, stock snorkel, stock jetting. Float heights are stock, everything like that. The only thing it had on it was a max torque cans 4-into-2-into-1 system, and they'd just started making these. And I'd met Martin through some other people and stuff like that. And yeah, he's like, oh, I love your videos. Let's work together and put one on your bike. Yeah, perfect. So he let me go up there and film him making it, which I thought was really cool. And that's kind of inspired me to get my own TIG welder, because he let me have a go at TIG welding, and I made a right mess of his tungsten. So if you're watching, Martin, I am sorry about that. But yeah, so I made this, or he made this four. So it's a 4 into 2 into 1. Now, a lot of Bandit systems are 4 into 1, which is great for top end, not so good for mid range. So I wasn't expecting like massive power out of it or anything. The can he made for it isn't one he sort of lists for sale, but because I was there on the day and I was like a kid in a candy shop, because there's, you know, the 6 different ends he does, and then there's like the different diameters of cans, shapes. Like there was, I was just like, oh, I know it's a bit cheeky, I was like, but could you make me like a custom one? Like I've got this can in my head. He's like, yeah, of course we can. He's like, what do you want? So we're going along. I was like, right, I fancy this end can. He's like, oh, I don't do those in that size, but I can make you one. Hang on. And he took me downstairs and welded it all up in front of me. I thought it was awesome. So it's a narrow can. It's 98mm diameter, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's the smaller diameter round can that's that long. So it's longer than his GP ones or short ones, but it's got a big bore outlet on it, and then it's the normal size through the middle, with his standard size link pipe. And I took it to Market BSD in Peterborough. Anyone that's been around the bike games might have heard of BSD. They used to do BSB bikes. They do gearboxes. They've been in and around it. Mark Bruin knows his stuff. He's really good at what he does. He's a great character. I love chatting to Mark. I might actually be seeing him tomorrow. But yeah, put it on the dyno, and yeah, like I say, if you go and watch that dyno video, I love Mark. He's quite funny, really. He's like, oh, these aftermarket cans, don't make any good power and all this. I was like, okay, Mark, no worries. I said, well, I thought, because to me, that Bandit's never felt the fastest. That's the funny thing, it's people are, oh, it's 121 horsepower, I think it made, and 80.7 foot-pound of torque. I was like, it doesn't feel fast. Like, he'll dyno it and it'll be like 80 horsepower, and I'll be like, right, time to big bore it and make it fast, And then when it got 120 or 121 horsepower, I was just like, really? And he's like, even he was shocked. He's like, they don't normally make this, and because every dyno run he's ever done, they save and it's on the computer. So he's like, let me go and have a look. And he goes, yeah, that's making good power for a Bandit. Most of them are normally about 112-ish, a good one. Anything from 106 to 112, depending on the spec and stuff. And he's like, what? He goes, oh, you've jetted this, haven't you? I said, no, it's standard, like completely stock jetting. The mixture screws are a little bit further out. So I think the standard, don't quote me on this because I haven't looked in the manual for it. I think the standard is 1 3/4 turns out, or 1.5 turns. Someone might know. But mine are 2 3/4 turns out, which might seem a lot, but it makes 120 horsepower and it runs nice. So yeah, shocked. I don't know why it's made that. I'd love to get it on another dyno and see if it's even close to 120 horsepower. But Bill had his 1200 dyno because he was having some running problems, and he's like, I'm just going to take it to Mark. Couldn't have asked me. He's like, I'm going to take it to Mark. Mark knows what he's doing because Bill's has got a K&N in it and stuff like that. He's like, I'd rather him just jet it and sort it out. Yeah, no problem. And he had the old exhaust system, which was a DID full system, American can, or American system. And it dynoed it, and I think Bill's made 118 horsepower, which again is like a lot for a Bandit 1200. So I don't know if it's Mark's dyno, I don't know if it's, an optimistic dyno or anything like that, but, it makes 120. So, but, he's a respected tuner, people go on what he says because, to be fair, it is normally right. I don't know. Maybe I'm just lucky. Maybe it was the temperature was right that day. I don't know. But yeah, it literally makes 120. Even he was shocked. And yeah, crazy, right? Because I was thinking, but that's the thing. Like, it's all right saying, oh yeah, it's 120 horsepower. But when I rode it there, I thought, this is pretty slow for a Bandit 12. And it's the most powerful one I've ever seen on a dyno that's stock, or is pretty well stocked. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. Because I was ready for him to go, I bet it's down on compression, or it's not making very good power. And I was ready to right, I'm going to put a big bore kit in it. I might do cams, I might not. Again, that's another big debate when tuning Bandits. But I was like, you know, it's getting big bored or it's turboed or something like that. And then it turns out it's making really good power. So I'm not sure, you know. I still would like to make the Bandit, a clock Bandit, a bit faster, especially after having a GSXR 1000 with flat bars. It's like 150 horsepower. The Bandit does seem a little bit slower, but at the end of the day, we can only do 70 mile an hour on the road, can't we? So, yeah, there we go. Right, I'm rambling. I've been chatting for 70 minutes. I can't believe this. Right, I've seen one last comment from Random Rides. Ian, I know exactly how you feel. I was using my Bandit 12 daily, but bought a Honda Trans out and it felt broken. Yeah, I agree with you already. I felt like I was on a 125. I also have an NC 700 parallel twin, which feels no better. Yeah, I'm a straightforward guy. Like Bill loves V twins. He's had a Firestorm. Um, what else has he had? He's had a couple of mean streaks. He's had a RSVR, which he said was more like riding an inline four. Bill loves a V twin. I hate them. I shouldn't say that, but I'm not a fan of them. But it's each to their own, isn't it? You know, that's we've all got opinions, and it's just each to their own. Like I say, Laughing Dog, I'm going to get a Bandit next year. I don't blame you in the slightest, but then I'm a little bit biased, I guess. So, right, guys, thank you so much. Honestly, like, I really do appreciate that. That is really. I look a bit better when I'm not. Yeah, I'm not as bright now, am I? But sorry, video things. Because am I overexposed? That's the one thing I want to know. My face looks quite bright on my screen. Am I overexposed? This light's too bright. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all subscribing and commenting. We love the comments. It's it's good for YouTube when you comment, or it's good for me on YouTube when you comment, because YouTube thinks you definitely like it if you've took the time to comment. So we appreciate the comments and all the thumbs up and you guys watching. We really do. And if you ever feel like sharing it around to other people that might be interested, I do appreciate it. I know I feel a bit sort of asking and stuff. Yeah, was I going to say something else? I can't remember now. But yeah, guys, thank you very much. Let me look at these last couple of comments, because the other really annoying thing is when you do a live video, as soon as you press finish and it like uploads it so other people can watch it, all the comments from the live video disappear, so I can't go back and read through them and stuff like that. But Laughing Dog, yeah, awesome. Right, thanks for the videos and the live update. And yes, slightly overexposed. Good to know, Adam. Thank you very much. Is that better? Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. So, and I'll do my little like. I've never like set out to do it in particular, but until next time, we'll see you later. That's what I normally do it. So I will see you later. If I can turn it off. Where's the button? Technology, eh? Is it that one? Are you sure you want to stop streaming? See you guys.